is Breakout Star of the Year.
Okay.
And for me, I'm going with Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
The reason behind it, and this is why I actually pulled out the old notebook.
Subscribe.
Because I was convinced last year I made him the worst wrestler of the year last year, and that's when I found out it was Ronda Rousey and then Nia Jax, and I said, okay, that makes sense. I know I've been crucifying Dom since he had his debut against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam a couple years back.
And he actually had a good match with Seth Franklin Rollins. Because it was Seth Franklin Rollins.
Right. But I said he should have went right to the, to NXT. He should have learned under there. He shouldn't have gone right to the main roster just because his dad's there. He needed to develop and become his own person down there. Ever since WrestleMania this year, Dominic Mysterio has been doing some of the best work I've ever seen anybody do. When he came out in the cop car in the back of the the big truck, and he had the Rey Mysterio man, that was done. I said, this kid gets it. He has the psychology down. He knows how to get a reaction from the fans. Like you said at the Scope, you could even hear when he was out there and he was talking. From where he was to where he is now, Dominic Mysterio has earned my Breakout Star of the Year. Nicole had a tie. She couldn't pick one, so she picked both Usos because she agreed with Jeff, where Jey Uso has kind of took off and become his own person. But she also said that Jimmy Uso in the process has done a great job on his own, kind of developing himself as a legitimate threat to the tribal chief. And she said that both Usos deserve to get Breakout Star of the Year because they both kind of broke out this year as singles competitors.
I can dig that, and I'll just say that I know the company will not get behind Jimmy like they will with Jay because Jimmy's indiscretions with booze.
Right.
But no, those are good. All right.
Yep.
So Tim in the chat has said Grayson Waller or LA Knight for him as far as Breakout Star. And Chris Brown saying for him LA Knight or Damian Priest.
I'm going with LA Knight on the breakout part because, we got over.
Yeah.
We got over amongst our friends, but you got over with like millions of people. So
yeah. And I agree with El Jefe. I'm going with L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
We're talking about a man who was a maximum male model who ended up in the pitch black match, which I actually enjoyed. But the fact that, most people did not come out on the other side of a feud with Bray Wyatt in a better spot than they were before. But the fact that he had the absolutism saying, yeah, over and over and over again. And no, by the way, anytime I post a short for our show, I end it with one of those yeahs.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be dead and buried after you lose to Bray Wyatt. And he didn't. Despite the fact that he lost and didn't look great in losing, but character-wise, it didn't matter. Because he said,
yeah. Well, that was Bray Wyatt's final match. Rest in peace.
He went from that to main event one of the Blood Money shows. He went from, being in the Mountain Dew pitch black match that lasted, 3.5 minutes?
It was like 6.
To main eventing against Roman Reigns.
Turner.
Who is the biggest draw in the last decade.
Yep.
And he's doing this in his 40s. He was a star before, but nobody knew, general people didn't know who the hell he was.
Yeah, no one knew Eli Drake.
Right.
The diehards know who Eli Drake is.
Right, we know who he is.
Yeah. But the fact that he went from that to what he got to. And considering that this roster is loaded with main event level people, and he still got to the edge of the mountaintop.
Yep.
So I'm going with LA Knight as my breakout star of the year. Talk to me. Yeah.
Yeah.